Hello friends, bienvenidos. My name is Jen, aka Jen Calo on social media, your local witchy friend and intuitive guide through the occult. As always, my lovely husband and co-host is David, aka Premier Pulls on social media.
Hi everyone, on today's episode, Jen explains occult lyrics in music.
Welcome to the show, grab a chair, make yourself at home. Jen's got stories to share, you'll never feel alone.
Alright, this is going to be a fun one, but before we get started, I don't know if we have any F1 fans. I think that's mostly just me, but I am part of the podcast, so I'm going to plug it. The day we are recording is the day before the final race of the season. That's why I'm wearing my Red Bull hat, and all best of luck to Max Verstappen, who I'm hoping wins this year. Side tangent, because a lot of my algorithm is like witchiness, and because of you, not because of me. And F1, I've been getting a lot of TikToks of like girls doing spells and praying for Max Verstappen to win.
I love that.
And it's great. So I thought I'd do a personal plug for some of my interests.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, this week's episode is a very interesting one. It's a completely different format. I'm very excited to talk about it. And before I do, this is one where I actually did a lot of the research, and by doing that, I have a lot more appreciation of what you do, because up to like pretty much this episode, over 100 episodes in, Jen has done all the research for all our episodes. Not necessarily that I don't have the ability to, but because a lot of the time she's the ones explaining the topics, like I wouldn't even know how to research, right? So shout out to you, and another shout out to Alex, who is somebody who else has done research for our podcast. So it was really cool being on that side of the coin and doing the research myself. So
yeah, so a lot of this is going to be mainly David leading it.
Yeah.
And we wanted to, but we didn't get to like talk about, do we want to include this song? What is an occult lyric? So you will see us troubleshoot that real time.
Yeah. So basically the format is, maybe a little background. So we were in bed, as a lot of our great topics come about. And we were talking specifically about a Ricky Martin song. And I was like, did you know that has like very occult lyrics? And when we were doing that, I was like, we should do an episode on occult lyrics. I thought that would be really cool. But this is different than, like, for example, we did one on occult symbols in media. This is a little different. So we chose a few songs, and we're going to analyze all the songs. We're going to give you a little background about the songs, read off some of the lyrics, and then kind of have a discussion. So the format's a little different, but it's going to be really fun. So with that said, I think we can get started. The first song that we're going to talk about is Living La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin. And fun fact, the day this drops is his birthday. His birthday's
December
on
24th.
December 24th. So Living La Vida Loca came out in 1999.
Wow.
And this was the song that actually inspired this topic. So some of the notable occult lyrics are, she's into superstition, black cats and voodoo dolls. I feel a premonition that girl's gonna make me fall. Woke up in New York City in a funky cheap hotel. She took my heart and she took my money. She must have slipped me a sleeping pill. She never drinks the water and makes you order French champagne. Once you've had a taste of her, you'll never be the same. Yeah, she'll make you go insane.
So I guess this is my question. What do you consider an occult lyric?
I think an occult lyric is something that has to do with like darkness or creepiness. I think with the songs we have a little more liberty just because they're not going to be as literal. Like they're not spells or incantations, even though we are going to talk about that. But definitely more of like the darker side.
That's interesting because like if I had been able to do the research, in this case I was not, we were pressed for time, so David did it. I would have chosen something that intentionally had like a spell. So not just talking about the witchy aesthetic, but was witchy in itself.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, for me, this one was like, I thought the opening line, like, she's into superstition, black cats, and voodoo dolls. I think that definitely gives like really like witchy vibes. And I definitely understand what you're saying. But yeah, fun surprise, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
Do you hate it? No! I will end this episode right now.
I don't hate it, but it's just like, yeah, That's interesting. I feel like
This is why she does the research. Listen, we're about to go into 2026. If you need a new co-host, let me know.
no. I just think it's interesting to equate like witchy people with being into black cats and voodoo dolls. Like, it's very stereotypical, but I understand what he's saying. He's saying that this woman in the song is very like enchanting, and it's like, why is she so powerful? It has to be because she has some sort of assistance from the other side.
Exactly. Yeah. This is very interpretive. Too.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like, Now I'm all self-conscious.
No.
You. You ruined this for me.
You ruined everything.
All right, some fun facts about the song. So the song was pivotal in kicking off the Latin pop explosion. So before this, we had some sort of like Latin influence. We had the Miami Sound Machine with Gloria Estefan. Selena was pretty big. She was crossover, but not as big. But I do remember Ricky Martin, I think, really propelled that. So he opened the way to Shakira, J-Lo, all those great... J-Lo is a little interesting. But those Latin influences really shone through, and this was a pivotal kickoff moment for that movement. It was the first #1 song made entirely with Pro Tools. Are you familiar with Pro Tools?
No, okay, but that sounds cool.
Yeah, so Pro Tools is essentially like it's a software that's available to the masses, right? This is when we start being able to just buy a laptop and not having a full recording studio. There are some pivotal softwares that came out. Pro Tools is one. Fruity Loops is another one. Before that, you had to have a lot of knowledge in sound engineering and a lot of knowledge in musicology. But this was the first #1 song that was made entirely in Pro Tools. Essentially, more of a modern software, which is kind of what where we are today, right? A lot of SoundCloud rappers and people can actually create their own music without big productions. And this was, I guess, the first song to make #1 using Pro Tools.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's magical.
Again, we're talking more about the songs too.
Yeah.
You're hating today.
I'm not.
It finished 1999 as the year's number 10 Billboard Hot Song 100. So hit number 10. I thought for a point it was a little higher because you could not escape the song. It was really big. At the time I was living in Mexico, and like it reached Mexico too.
I was gonna say it probably sounded like the #1 for us because we're Latino.
That's true. Yeah.
That's probably why. But on the top 10, I'm sure it was like the only semi-Latino song on there. Yeah.
Ricky Martin knew it was a hit when he heard the demo. The album had already actually been recorded and it was ready to be mastered. But he's like, no, we're going back and we're adding it, and it was the right call. Nice.
Good job following your intuition, Ricky.
Yeah, right. Some of my thoughts. So it reminds me of Love Spells, but the lyrics are a little worrisome for me because it does talk about him being like basically, I don't say date rape, but it talks about like the woman slipping like sleeping pills in his drink. Not great. And then kind of what you mentioned at the top of the podcast, I think it does have a negative connotation, and I'll talk about it more at the end. But like, the only way this woman can get this man is by like witchcraft, occult, in this case, like slipping him a pill. So I think that's a little worrisome. But I think the vibe is so upbeat and so like energetic, that can slip on through. It's kind of like that song from Outkast, Hey Ya, where he's like, you don't want to hear me, you just want to dance.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this is.
Yes.
So those are some of my thoughts on the song, but it's giving very like love spell vibes. What do you think?
Yeah. Honestly, before this episode, I didn't even pay attention to the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's like, da, 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 da. That's it, you know? Yeah, I agree. But it's kind of funny. I think the only way that Ricky could be with a woman is witchcraft, given the fact that he's gay.
He is gay, yeah. I didn't even think about that, but he was a sex symbol, right? A Latin sex symbol.
That shit makes me laugh because in elementary school, all of the girls had like Ricky Martin lunchboxes and folders and stuff. And like, I was never really into Ricky Martin. I mean, I'm a little bit of an interesting bird myself, but I was like, what?
Well, you are into superstition.
I know. I was like, what is up with everybody like obsessed with Ricky Martin when I was in elementary school? And then years later, when he came out, one, good for him, go off queen. But two, I was cracking up thinking of all those girls that had like Ricky Martin lunchboxes.
Yeah. You know, I wonder. I don't know if he completely wrote it, but he definitely had to get into a different mindset. But that's what artists do, right? They have to be able to take themselves into different headspaces. So, no, obviously a great song. I love this song. I used to blast it all the time around that age. But the lyrics are a little concerning. I don't know if this song would have like survived 2025 and like good. I wouldn't. I don't know if I would want a song that like encourages, slipping pills into people's drinks so you can get with them.
Well, I think it was more to rob him, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
She took my heart and she took my money.
That's true.
Means like she ghosted me and also took my money.
Don't drug people.
yeah, for whatever reason.
Awesome. So, that's Ricky Martin's Living La Vida Loca, and this was the song that inspired this topic. So, all right. The next song we're going to talk about, this one might not be too big for our general audience, but if you grew up in a Spanish-speaking household, you definitely know this song. So this song is called The Ketchup Song by Las Ketchups. So this song came out in 2002. Some notable occult lyrics are, and it makes a little more sense in Spanish. There is like a Spanglish translation, and even when you look it up, it says like Spanglish version. But it says, Friday night, it's party time, feeling ready, looking fine. Here comes Diego, dancing with the magic in his eyes. He's the king of the ritmo ragatanga, and then it's the chorus, which is Asereje ha dejebe tu hebe sevido mahabi de booty de be. Many think it's brujeria, how he comes and disappears. Every move will hypnotize you. Some will call it chuleria. Others say that it's the real Rastafari Fragado. Afro-Gitano, yes. And then some fun facts about this song. So, Las Ketchup is a Spanish girl group founded by flamenco recorder-producer Manuel Gecko Ruiz, and the group consists of 3 sisters, which I think is really cool, which is cool. Lucia, Lola, and Pilar. One of my favorite fun facts that I did know about the song is the reason they're named the Ketchups is because it's a tribute to their dad, who his nickname was El Tomate, which is the tomato.
Oh, that's cute.
So his daughters are named the Ketchups,
which
I thought was really cute. Its nonsensical chorus is actually a Spanish mishearing of the Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight.
So pause this and listen to it, and then you'll see what we're talking about.
But it's that song that goes, I said a hip, hop, hippity hop. So if you listen to that chorus, the chorus for the Ketchup song is like a gibberish version of that. And the story goes, essentially it's this guy named Diego who goes into a club, and he's like a hip hop head, and he's listening to the song at the club. It was a massive international success, reaching #1 in over 20 countries, but only peaked 54 in the Billboard US 100, which makes sense, right? It was a Spanish song. There's a lot of Spanish-speaking countries. It did really well there, but the US wasn't as ready for it. Which, we started with Ricky Martin, and this was a little after Ricky Martin, so we weren't fully prepared to engage with our Spanish community. It's a simple, memorable dance routine helped propel it to viral pre-YouTube fame, making it a massive novelty hit. So it has like a dance that goes along with it that's very tied to the song. It's kind of like the YMCA or the Macarena.
It reminds me of like TikTok dances.
Yes, yeah. It's like a TikTok dance, before. So for me, the song is very iconic. It's one of those songs that you definitely grew up listening to. They played it at weddings. It has the dance that goes with it. So I think that really helped propel like a whole package as opposed to just a dance. But this song, even back then when it came out, it had a lot of like sensationalism to it.
Controversy.
Yes. If you listen to the lyrics, parents were saying like, no, this is a very bad song. It's super demonic. The starting line is Diego is walking at midnight. And the lyrics, it was believed that it was like an enchantment or it was some
like
sort of spell. Mm-hmm. Yes. And then with the dance moves, it like all tied in. So parents, especially
It's
Mexican,
like
yes,
cursing people,
yes,
yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
So parents, especially Mexican parents, love to jump on like demonic bandwagons, and they were like, "No, this song is the devil." Like it was the equivalent of like the Satanic Panic for Latino kids and parents. So the song itself doesn't really reference it. They've never come out and said like it's a cult, it's like a spell. It what it really was, it was a misinterpretation of the song I mentioned earlier, and it kind of had its own life, but it's very, very known to be like a demonic song in our culture.
Yeah, and that really makes me think that like occult lyrics is in the eye of the beholder, because what's occult to like him or me or a third person is not going to be the same. Because I'm really into the occult. I would call myself an occultist or a practicer of the occult. So unless it's like an intentional spell, I don't consider it an occult lyric. Versus like someone not in this life, anything that sounds like remotely foreign, it's occult. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it takes a life of its own. Yeah, so.
But yeah, it's really funny how like what people don't understand, they're immediately like witchcraft, the devil, which is very much what happened in this song. But this is basically another version of like Rhythm of the Night, Sonriba ko Sonnaik.
Yeah.
You know, just like a
misunderstanding
or mishearing.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were just like, I think this is the rhythm of the rapper's delight, like beat. And people are like, oh my God, you're cursing people. And it's like they are just doing their best, like, Spanglish translation of the beat.
Yep.
It's not that deep.
It's not that deep, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, also a really good song. I definitely listened to that one a lot growing up.
When you listen to them side by side, you'll crack up.
Yes.
It wasn't until he told me right before this that I listened to it, I was cracking up. I was like, oh my God.
Yes.
I cannot unhear this now.
Yeah. It's great. So awesome. All right. The next song we're going to talk about, it's called Black Magic Woman. It was originally by Fleetwood Mac, so reference to our Fleetwood Mac episode, and I didn't know that until I started doing the research. The reason I know this song is for Carlos Santana, so he did end up covering it a little bit later, and that's the version I know. It came out, the Fleetwood Mac version came out in 1968, and the Santana version came out in 1970. Some of the occult lyrics include, I got a black magic woman, got me so blind I can't see that she's black magic woman. She's trying to make a devil out of me. Stop messing around with your tricks. Don't turn your back on me, baby. You just might pick up my magic sticks. Got your spell on me, baby. You got yourself spell on me. Yes, you got your spell on me. Turning my heart into stone. I need you so bad, black magic woman. I can't leave you alone. So, some fun facts about this song. It was Peter Green from Fleetwood Mac who was inspired by his girlfriend Sandra Edson, nicknamed Magic Mama. So that's where he got the inspiration from. Santana's version was a global hit, reaching number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, which, again, great ode to a Latino artist. He reached number 4. It became Santana's signature song and provided significant income for Peter Green, who later struggled with mental health issues. And we did talk about a little bit about that during our Fleetwood Mac episode. So, some thoughts about this. Again, I didn't really know it was a Fleetwood Mac song. I always have liked and known the Santana version, which it was a really cool coincidence and crossover. So I thought that was awesome. With the Santana version, it has very funky melodies and they're almost hypnotizing. Like a lot of the song starts with a really cool like guitar riff, and to me it's almost like enchanting. So I think it was very purposeful, like the lyrics, it's like that, you know, black magic woman, and then like the guitar itself was very indicative of like that feeling, that invocation of like magic and spell. I do think the lyrics are a little problematic. I get a sense they have a lot of Haitian appropriation and they're playing up a stereotype. I don't know much about Peter Green's muse and the fact that they called her Magic Mama. I don't know if that completely would fly today. So I think that's a little problematic. But overall, this song from this episode that we're talking about, I think is one of the most like mystical sounding songs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and this was actually the song that I chose for Zia's Instagram post when we did her episode of Experience Exchange. So I already knew this song because of her.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Any other thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think that like like you said, it definitely has a little bit of like problematic tunes of basically like making women out to be witches just because you can't explain why you're like attracted to them.
Yes.
But I personally do like the song, even with its problematic lyrics, because it's a nice song. It's a catchy song.
Yeah. So the Santana version for me was the one that like really introduced me to this song. We have a few more songs to go over, but I think we're going to touch on those after our ad break.
Today's episode is brought to you by us, Kythera Collective. If you've been vibing with the energy of the show, then you're going to love the Kythera Club over on Patreon. It's a space that I built for the cosmic, the curious, and the slightly chaotic. You know who you are. With 3 delicious tiers to choose from, we start with the chocolate level at $4 a month, which gains you access to weekly horoscopes and the exclusive Unhinged podcast, where I say things that don't make it to this main feed. It's sweet, it's spicy, and it's just for you. Next, we have the cafe level at $7 a month. This is where things really start to get cooking. You'll receive access to exclusive workshops, monthly virtual hangouts, and a private Discord community where you can chat directly with me and receive exclusive behind-the-scenes updates. It's magical, cozy, and a little unhinged in the best way. Finally, we have the tequila level. This is the VIP lounge. At $25 a month, you'll receive everything from the previous tiers, plus a personal 15-minute one-on-one session with myself or David each month, and discounts if you want to extend the session. It's a whole vibe and a powerful way to receive personalized guidance. So if you've been laughing along with us, crying, or rage screaming in agreement, come hang out with us at the Kythera Club. Head over to patreon.com/JenCalo and choose your tier. If you want to sponsor an episode and advertise with us, go to our website, www.jencalo.com. All right, now back to the show.
All right, welcome back. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these songs, and you get to listen to them too after the episode. Unfortunately, because of copyright and trademarks, we won't be able to play any samples, but we will leave the titles and everything in the show notes. So, all right. So our next song is Hotel California by the Eagles, and that was released in 1977.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've talked about Black Sabbath. We've talked about different bands, but it's really interesting that I feel like Black Sabbath did start a little bit of that revolution, right? Where it gave artists the liberty to be a little more occult. Yeah. Or what do you think?
Yeah, I feel like they were a really big influence and really made the way for a lot of folks to explore sort of their more darker, mystical side.
Yeah, so Hotel California by the Eagles in 1977. So this is a song that I think does have a lot of occultism in it. I think it's a very storytelling song. It's a very popular song. If you haven't heard it, go ahead and listen to it. But here's some of the occult lyrics. So, on a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warm smell of colitas rising up through the air. Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. I had to stop for the night. This could be heaven or this could be hell. Then she lit up a candle, she showed me the way. There were voices down the corridor, and I thought I heard them say. So I called up the captain, please bring me my wine. He said, we haven't had that spirit here since 1969. And still the voices are calling from far away, wake you up in the middle of the night, just to hear them say. We are all just prisoners here of our own device and in the master chambers. They gathered for the feast. They stabbed it with their steely knives, but they can't kill the beast. So these are some of the lyrics that I thought had a lot of occult meaning. There's also a lot of symbolism. I'm not as familiar with the times, but I think some of the dates they reference are like very significant dates of that time period. The Steely Knives is a reference to Steely Dan, which was another band. And it has a very unique kind of California funk vibe, which I really enjoy. But again, this is very it almost is telling the story, I think, like of a haunted hotel.
Yeah.
And like, but there's a lot of wordplay which I enjoy. Like, for example, they use spirits interchangeably between alcohol and spirits. So I thought that was really cool. So, fun facts: a metaphor for the temptations, excess, and loss of innocence in the music industry and California style of the 70s. So this song was metaphorical to everything that was going around. So, you know, around that time we had like Free Love, we had the Hate Ashbury movement in San Francisco, a lot of like that hippie movement, LSD. So, you know, based on my research, it was like a metaphor of the times, like all the temptation and everything that was going on at the moment. It was like a pulse on society. Originally, though, the song was called Mexican Reggae, that was written by Don Felder, who wrote the song. It took multiple tries, and they actually recorded both in LA and Miami. There was 33 edits in the final version, which is kind of insane.
Wow.
And fun fact in crossover, Black Sabbath was recording next door when they recorded this song. So we've talked a lot about Black Sabbath, and just like Fleetwood Mac, this is another crazy crossover. When I read that, I was like, whoa, that's
very cool. Love that.
Yes. So I love this song. It's one of my favorite songs. The rendition that I really like, though, is from the Gypsy Kings. They did like a Latin folklore kind of version to it. It's very sped up and it's very like animated, and that's one of like my favorite versions of this song.
Is that the name of the band?
Yeah, the Gypsy Kings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's a little controversial, but that's literally the name of the band.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't also pay attention to the lyrics. I thought it was just talking about like kind of going down like Highway 1, California's so dope. That's what I thought it was. And then once I started paying closer attention, I'm like, oh yeah, this is about a haunted hotel. This is really cool. I like this. Yeah. Sort of like, I don't think we're gonna talk about this song, but recently we were road tripping. We're always road tripping.
Yes. Especially this month in December.
And you were like, you know, that song is about like a haunted lover, right? I was like, what? Which song were we talking about? Don't listen to the words I say.
Oh yes, it's of mice and men, little things or scary things or something like that. Yeah.
That song, I was like, whoa, I also didn't think about that.
Yeah, I should have put that song because it's one of my favorite songs. But yes, I do want to spend a little more time on this one, just because out of all the songs that we have, I think this one is very occult and very like lyrically heavy. It has themes of like spirits, the haunting, and then it also I think has very meaningful lyrics regarding, you know, what I mentioned, which is like the letting go and the disassociation of the heaviness of the times. So I'm kind of curious, just based on listening to before we recorded and then some of these lyrics, what are like your occult takes from it?
Yeah, I wonder if they have any origins to like actually being haunted, or if they just thought this sounded cool, kind of like Black Sabbath was about a sleep paralysis demon, basically. I had David listen to it and he was like, oh shit. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I wonder if he had either like a crazy nightmare or like something actually haunt, or like what was the inspiration for this song. I'd be very curious.
I love songs that play on like a storytelling and really set the mood. I think like the opening line itself, on a dark desert highway, cool within my hair, like it really puts you there. Another song that this reminds me of, it's not an occult song, but it's the parallels are the same, and I'll explain in a little bit. But Bye Bye Miss American Pie. So that song is, we actually studied that song in a sociology class because it talks a lot about like what was going on at the time. It was a reflection of like the political stuff that was happening, and it really used a lot of like symbolism like this song. So Hotel California and Bye Bye Miss American Pie like remind me of each other in that way.
I can see that.
Yeah. I don't want to sound like an old person here, but do you get the sense that songs used to be better? Like the storytelling was a lot better. I think it really took you through a journey. you could like Hotel California, you could analyze the lyrics for days, understand different references, understand symbolism. Not that we don't have good music, but I do feel like the music of today is very commercialized. I don't know if that makes sense.
That does make sense because a lot of artists now are making music that is TikTokable. And I don't know if we ever talked about this, but Akon really started this trend. But
we did. We talked about it a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, no, not Akon catching strays from me, but yeah, I really do think that a lot of music is now like commercialized. Like either it's some sort of like brand deal or it has to be like danceable and TikTokable because that's what the masses want. However, there are still some good songs that come out with like some really good lyrics. So I don't want to say all hope is lost for music now because I feel like people always say that like music before was better.
Yeah.
Every generation says that, but
yes, and that was gonna end with that caveat too. But yes,
yeah, but I will say you do have a point. I can see your point, but there are still really great, deep meaning songs. Like I think specifically of Hosier, Take Me to Church is like a more recent song, and like that song is really beautiful.
But even that I think was still like early 2000s. And another thing that could happen as well is that maybe these old songs that we really like are the ones that survived. Maybe they also had very commercial jingly stuff back then, but it just didn't kind of survive the times.
Yeah,
right?
I can see that.
Because I agree with you. I think it's very easy to say the generation before you was always like better and deeper, but I mean that's been going on since forever. So, but yeah, really great song. If you haven't listened to this song, listen to it. It's very popular. I highly doubt that nobody's heard it, but if you haven't, check it out. All right, moving forward a little bit, our next song is Disturbia by Rihanna, which Loki is one of my favorite artists.
Yeah,
I love
Rihanna.
Yes,
Bad gal Riri, she's great. Yes.
So this was released in 2008, a lot closer to modern days. I was graduating high school in 2008, so that's when this song came out. Some of the occult lyrics include, "It's a thief in the night to come and grab you. It can creep up inside you and consume you. A disease of the mind, it can control you. It's too close for comfort. Oh, your mind's in disturbia." What?
It reminds me of the cuckoo.
Yes. Well, I'll touch on that. "It's like the darkness is light. Disturbia. Am I scaring you tonight? Faded pictures on the wall. It's like they're talking to me. Disconnected. No one calls. The phone don't even ring. I gotta get out of this figure. I gotta get out or figure the shit out. It's too close for comfort. Release me from this curse I'm trying to maintain, but I'm struggling." So, yeah. So I think this song, all the songs that we're covering, I think have some thematic parts to it, but I think this is like a haunting or a ghost. It almost sounds like she's, again, very metaphorical and symbolic. She actually did co-write this with Chris Brown, which at the time, knowing now, is a very bad relationship. But I do think this was more of a commercial, not as a commercial hit, as opposed to like a deep dive into what she was feeling. But I can't obviously speak to that. So Rihanna, if you want to come on, explain. But yeah, and again, this is another song that's super catchy. It's Rihanna. She has a Caribbean vibe. Like you don't really think that her songs are like lyrically dark, but this is actually a really, really dark song. And I see two parts of it. One of it is just a regular haunting. Like it's a girl who's in her room and she's being haunted. But I wonder if it's like a symbolic, like trying to explain these demons or having like these disturbing thoughts.
I wonder if this is around her S&M era where she took a little bit of a darker turn because her debut album was very like pop princess, like SOS, Umbrella, Take a Bow. And then that's when she started getting her edge with like her second album. So
and she did a song with Eminem, which is Monster. So but I think this is also a good storytelling one. And this, I think, is definitely a cult. I don't think there's any any interpretation of that. Like the lyrics, I think, are very occulting.
I don't know why, but the lyric, "It's a thief in the night to come and grab you," makes me think of El Cucuy, where they're like, don't sleep with like an arm or a foot hanging off the bed if you're Latino, because El Cucuy's gonna grab you.
Yes.
I'm like, I wish a motherfucker would. I'm still gonna sleep with my foot.
So, fun facts. It was a major commercial hit, reaching number 1 on the Billboard US 100 and becoming a top 10 hit in many countries. This was Rihanna's 4th number 1 hit in the US, following SOS, Umbrella, and Take a Bow. Yeah.
Nice.
So again, it's giving like ghost movies for me. There was also a movie that came out the year before called Disturbia, and I don't know if it was a tie-in or it was a coincidence, but it was basically about this kid who was like in a house and there was like a stalker or an intruder, and it's like a horror thriller movie.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I think this was at the peak, not at the peak because Rihanna's had a lot of success, but this was definitely, she was in her era with like all these great songs. And to sneak this one in, I think it says a lot. But I don't know too much about the song, but this one would be so cool to get like her insight on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know. This isn't like slander. This is just assumption. I don't necessarily know if Rihanna's a lyricist or she just is a singer and uses songs that are written for her. But it would be really interesting to know kind of her perspective on this song, or if it was just a commercial hit.
Fun fact, SOS was not written by her. It was written by someone else, and he was just challenging himself, and all the lyrics are 80s band titles.
That's not SOS. That's I know what you're talking about, but it's not SOS. No.
Which one is it?
I saw that TikTok too. Oh, it's gonna bother me, but no,
it is SOS.
Are you sure?
I am sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes, SOS. Yes. You know what song I was thinking? I was confusing the one where she talks about like sticks and stones can break. SNN.
Oh, yeah.
SNN. Yes, SOS is. That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. All right. So our next and final song, we have to end with the amazing, the incredible Lady Gaga. We're going to talk about Abracadabra. It was released in 2025. Some of the lyrics include, like a poem said by a lady in red, you hear the last few words of your life. With a haunting dance, now you're both in a trance. It's time to cast your spell on the night. Abracadabra, amor o na na, abracadabra, morta o gaga. Abracadabra, abra o na na. In her tongue she said, death or love tonight. So this is one song that you did the research for, so tell me about it.
Yes, so this is the song that I chose to research, of course. Abracadabra itself is already a word that I believe was created by Aleister Crowley?
Yeah.
Or am I confusing him with another occultist? Let me look.
It might be him, but while she looks that up, some fun facts about the song. It broke records with 4.92 million streams on its first day on Spotify. Mm-hmm. That's day one, which for her was her biggest solo song debut ever, which is saying a lot because Lady Gaga has had some bangers and she's never fallen off, but we're in 2025. I feel like it's been a while since we've heard something from her. Also crazy that song came out this year. This year's been long. But yeah, it was her biggest solo song. And just as a reminder, she's had Poker Face, she's had Bad Romance, Just Dance, the whole thing with A Star Is Born. Like, she's not a lightweight person in the industry. She's had some of the biggest songs in the last decades. And to me, it's crazy to think that in today, 2025, like, this one has been her biggest, like, opening success.
Yes.
So Gaga explained it's about finding magic in life's challenges. Historically, abracadabra means I create as I speak, or it came to pass as I spoke, linking to creation or healing spells.
Yeah, that is the original definition of abracadabra, and yes, it was Aleister Crowley with Thelema, the religion Thelema. But yes, it means I create as I speak. But the reason why I wanted to dive into this is because this song is an intentional spell beyond the abracadabra part, but in the chorus, like abracadabra, amor unana, abracadabra, morta o gaga. So it uses Latin amor and morta, which means
love and death.
Yeah. And that's how she ends a chorus, death or love tonight. And then the like a poem said by a lady in red, So the witches got excited. They got too excited. So there's like the pendulum swing of if this is foreign, it's like the devils. And then sometimes witches, like if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. They were like, oh my God, the lady in red is Hecate. No.
Hecate?
Hecate,
Yeah.
Hecate, however you pronounce the goddess. No disrespect. I just don't know how to pronounce it. But yes, so directly from the source, Gaga did confirm this is a spell, but it is a spell against negative self-talk and imposter syndrome.
Oh.
So the lady in red basically represents our imposter syndrome, which is like, are you good enough? Are you worthy of this? So by basically like this chorus, Amor Unana, Abracadabra, Morta Ugaga, is basically like killing that imposter syndrome and reminding you of your power.
Yeah.
So that's when I think of occult lyrics, that's what I think of, like actual intention. And then sort of like a shout out to a song that didn't make the cut, but I really like, is Sweetie's Icy Girl, because people think that she's just flexing like, I have this, I have that. But if you listen to the lyrics, it's actually one day I will get this. One day I will get that. Manifestation Central. Yep.
Yes.
So yeah, I do have a Spotify playlist where I try to put songs like that on days where I'm feeling down, where it's like songs that are intentionally curated as like a spell or a manifestation. And yeah, it gives me a lot of power. And Abracadabra is definitely one of them.
Was Saweetie the same artist, or this might be Megan Thee Stallion, you'll let me know, that like made a song about their zodiac sign? Or mentioned their zodiac sign?
A lot of artists mention their zodiac sign.
He talked about it in a previous episode, so I was kind of curious.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I know Megan Thee Stallion gives a big shout out to her being an Aquarian.
Yeah. Aquarius?
Aquarian.
Oh,
like,
if you are. Okay.
Yeah. If you're an Aquarius, you're an Aquarian. Yeah. I'm sure Saweetie does too. I'm just blanking on what Saweetie's song is. But yes. But yes. We love Gaga. We love that it debuted like during the Super Bowl. Everyone like lost their mind. They were like, oh my God. Yeah. And the fact that she came back, because I think she took a break for a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since I think we've heard like a song from her. So yeah, she came out swinging, definitely.
Yeah.
It's right up her alley. I mean, she came up with the song. I listened to it. I mean, I like it just fine. It's not my favorite Lady Gaga song, and I actually do like Lady Gaga quite a bit. But it's very up her alley. It's very avant-garde. This is like the perfect song for her, I think, and it's really cool that she's still
and
kind
for
of
her fans.
And for her fans, yeah. She does a lot of fan service for the Little Monsters, right?
And then tie back to Bad Romance. So amor in Latin and Spanish is love, and in Bad Romance she says Roma o Gaga. So that's like her way of like really creating like these sort of like spells or deeper meanings. It's taking like Latin words
Incantations.
and then making her own incantations with herself. Iconic. O Gaga. So yeah, in Bad Romance she says Roma o Gaga a lot. So that's like love backwards. So it's a bad romance.
Yeah. Awesome.
Very interesting.
Well, that was our experimental episodes. I loved it. I think Genesis definitely had some thoughts with the songs I chose. But some final thoughts for me. I noticed there's a lot of thematically different themes, and one of them is just like women. And I don't necessarily know if that's a good thing. I think a lot of the songs we covered, it's like, I was enchanted by a woman, I got possessed by a woman, this woman's a witch, this woman has powers, and not in a flattering way. So I to me, I think what it is, it's like low-hanging fruit, in the sense that it's easy to be like, oh, like spells and enchantments are really easy to use symbolism with. So I think that is probably what has a lot to do with it. Usually when you do think magic, you think witches, and the pipeline is really easy. So we need to come up with new occult songs that don't involve so much like women are so insane that they're going to put spells on you and basically control you. Like, we need to get away from that thing.
Yes.
I think, personally.
But I think as we got forward, like Hotel California, Disturbia, and Abracadabra, we're less about that.
Yes. But we started kind of strong on that theme. So I just wanted to address that, like, you know, and it's of the times, but I do think that is something that we need to, as a society, revisit and not continue those like negative stereotypes. I also noticed there's a lot of Latin influence, but that could just be because you and I are like,
I think
are Spanish speaking.
That's what it is. It's biased.
There's a lot of bias, but as I was doing a lot of these, like Santana, La Sketcha, Ricky Martin, I was like, oh yeah, like there's there's definitely a theme going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your final thoughts?
Yeah, I think occult is in the eye of the beholder. So not to be a hater in the beginning, but
You're being a hater.
Everyone,
I'm gonna write a song now.
everyone has different definitions of what something occult is and is not. But these were all great songs for many different reasons, and I'm glad that we covered them.
Yeah.
This was a very interesting episode. Let us know how you feel about David taking the lead with the research.
Yes.
We would love to hear your thoughts. As a reminder, we do have SpeakPipe. So SpeakPipe is where you can leave us voicemails and we could play them on the show, but everybody's so shy. But if you're not shy and you want to be on the show with your voice message, speakpipe.com/Jen Explains. You can also always get in contact with us, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Blue Sky at Jen Colo and JenColo.com. If you leave a comment, we will also read it the next time that we record. And remember, if you like the show, share it with a friend that might find it interesting. And wherever you're listening, rate it and give us 5 stars.
Yeah. Last thing, I did listen to one song just to see if it had any like occultism, and that was our intro song, and it doesn't. Yeah. I don't know why. I was like, did it mention any mythical thing? It doesn't. And we did touch on this on our 1-year anniversary of the podcast, but our song was actually made with AI. So I remember as I was like typing up the lyrics, I tried to like add like occulty things, but we couldn't find anything. So
yeah, definitely.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for engaging in today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it because I worked hard on it.
Yes, you did.
But thank you so much for listening. We always appreciate it, and let us know your thoughts.
Yes, remember the magic within you makes the world a more beautiful place. Blessed be, and signing off. Bye.